Yo, what's good, everyone? This is Ayo Boxing from Adiba, and here's my post-fight review for Brandun Lee versus Pedro Campa. And to be honest, I was kind of harsh on Brandun Lee in my previous video. I said this fight was a step backwards because he wasn't fighting a top 15 opponent, but in all actuality, this is the fight that Lee needed at the current level that he is right now. A lot of people were calling this fight a robbery, but I don't think so. This fight was very close. It could have been a draw or go 6-4 to Lee or Campa. Lee won, but the scorecards were shameful. This was Lee's biggest test, and he barely passed it. Lee started this fight off good. He utilized a fast, sharp, and accurate jab. He was boxing and moving and using lateral movement, counterpunching Campa and picking his spots to let his hands go. Lee was hitting Campa with some clean power shots, especially with the right hand, and for the most part, Lee's defense was good. Campa, on the other hand, was pressuring Lee, landing body shots and some good left hooks and overhand rights when Lee kept his head on the line. But for the first 4 rounds, Campa was getting outboxed by Lee. Lee landed a strong counter right hand in the second round that would have knocked out most people, and Lee did his best work in this fight in the 4th round. However, the momentum in the 5th round changed in favor of Campa. In the 5th round, Campa came out aggressive, throwing a lot of hard punches and volume, and instead of boxing and using his jab, Lee stood toe-to-toe and began to exchange in the pocket with Campa, fighting the type of fight that favored Campa. And from there on out, Campa's pressure and volume was getting to Lee, and Campa began to dictate the pace of the fight. This caused Lee to get into situations that favored Campa. Lee was losing most of the exchanges in the inside, he was getting hit to the body a lot, and was getting caught with left hooks and overhand rights. Lee made no adjustments until the 10th round, and that's when he got back to boxing and utilizing his jab. But by then, Campa had closed the gap and made the fight extremely close. In summary, it was an entertaining fight that answered a lot of questions that I had. I stated in my previous video that Campa had the style to make Lee look bad, cause him a lot of trouble, and even upset him, and for the most part, Campa did all of that. So shout out to Pedro Campa. He's a better fighter than what I initially thought, and his stock has risen. Hopefully he can get some more fights against the top competition at 140. Lee, on the other hand, needs a lot of work done. He didn't go to the body at all in this fight. He only landed 3 body shots over 10 rounds. Lee also needs to keep his head off the line and improve his inside game. Most importantly, Lee needs more discipline. If Lee would have kept using his jab instead of being drawn into a firefight, Lee could have made this fight way easier for himself. This seems to be a recurring issue throughout Lee's career, where he will just lose discipline and get into situations where he doesn't need to be, getting hit with shots, getting into exchanges, and just trying to be a tough guy when he doesn't need to. To be honest, I think Lee may need another trainer. Not saying to get rid of his dad, but add someone new. I think Derek James or Robert Garcia would be a good fit for Brandun Lee. Despite being a hard and close fight, I think Lee should keep on fighting better opponents. He shouldn't go backwards in competition. Everyone's going to have a tough fight at some point in their career. With some work, he can definitely improve, but as of right now, I don't know if he can reach championship level. But who knows, this is boxing, anything can happen. But thank you for tuning in with Ayo Boxing from Adiba. Hit like and subscribe, and more content's coming your way.